Cool. Hi, my name is Maya Milusheva. I'd like to start with a short introduction about myself. I'm a woman in IT, obviously. I'm a CEO.
What's up, YouTube? Tonight we are covering how even female CEOs are avoiding hiring Western women as a direct result of the feminist movement and the reasons behind it. So let's get into it, shall we?
I'm a mother as well, so you would say I went through quite a lot in the IT industry. So I have the experience and authority to talk about this topic. Now, what I want to say is that the whole talk about women in IT is usually a bad thing for us. Because basically what it says is, well, it's okay to have lower income, it's okay to do worse than boys in the IT industry because, well, there's a world conspiracy against you, you know, people hate you, that's why. So that's why I'm against the whole talk. Also, I did some recruiting because I have a company. And also I went to a school that had like 8 girls and 100 boys. So, you know, I'm quite used to being around a lot of boys. The whole thing is, girls are usually quite lazy. They're just not that good programmers. Sorry, but that's true, honestly. They just don't want to get their hands dirty to do the job. And when I tried to do some recruiting, I intentionally wanted to recruit women. And at the end, I failed to do so.
Okay, I can definitely see where the CEO is currently coming from. I can. In fact, I'm going to have to extend it even further, where I say having your facility, regardless if it's a business, church, school, college, being mostly female dominated is usually a bad thing. I'm not saying this to be sexist. I'm saying this because when I've been around quite a lot too, and the common denominator I've seen in these facilities is that, well, majority of women, not all, but a majority of them, because of the feminist movement, they get offended like way too easily, which pretty much disrupts a lot of the workflow and costs you a lot of money too, on the account that you're literally going around spending an enormous amount of money trying to find some miracle to resolve a complaint that you literally just can't do anything about without experiencing some kind of very intense legal backlash. And the reason why is because a lot of times when the women at these female dominated facilities get offended, they're not willing to let it go. Like they're not. Even when you tell them there's nothing we can do. Very often they will form a coalition and just continue making complaint after complaint because it's not about justice or about equality. It's about it's about them wanting the man to suffer. It really is.
Do you want to know why? Because most of those girls were usually just cheating and they were just not good programmers. At the end, I had to recruit boys. And that's why I think the whole talk about let's recruit more women is bad, because at the end, you're recruiting worse programmers. At the end, your company is going to suffer. You're gonna lose some money. I know it's trendy to talk about women in IT, but I think women should just start studying more and getting the job done. And I honestly don't see girls staying up until late at their office and working that often. No, it's usually the boys staying there. Why? I don't know. So that's what I want to say. I think the whole lecture should be removed.
Okay, I can definitely see where she's coming from on this one too. I can. Because, hey, I work in sterile processing as a sterile processing technician. In case you guys don't know, it's the heart of the very hospital. Hospitals cannot accept insurance money without a fully functional sterile processing department. We can't. And even in my lab, it's, with the exception of leaders, it's mostly women. It is. And that, even to this day, that's starting to cause some problems because in my lab, I'm what's called the heavy because I'm the only one who enjoys getting out of the lab and doing the heavier parts of the job. And when I'm off duty, like when I go on vacation to visit family or stuff, well, my leaders try, I can't say names or where I work for legal purposes, but we try convincing my female employees to do the cover for me on these heavier job duties when I'm on vacation. And then we fail. It's usually mostly only the men who are willing to do it. As for the leader's position, yeah, we actually did try to hire male leads. I mean, not male leads, I mean, female leads with intentions. And the majority of the time, we ended up failing. The reason why, because the female leads, they would very quickly leave and go on to something else. I remember one female lead we had, we just recruited her, and she didn't even stay with us for a month before she left the field. Quite literally. And the exact same thing goes for colleges too. Like, I think colleges are going to be losing money because one of the very common denominators I see with colleges that where their campuses are female dominated is that, yeah, the majority of women the majority of people who go to college are women, but these women are just not majoring in the more difficult and more profitable majors that often would create the majority of the revenue. They would usually just, the majority of your student body, which is women, would usually take the more easier majors, like performing arts or gender studies, which I think should be just called feminist studies, or communication degrees, stuff like that. No matter how many times we tell them, like, hey, these degrees don't have any market value. And in the end, I see these colleges who are experiencing this have no choice but to respond to that by increasing the tuition prices on all the more easier majors as well. Because let's face it, colleges need have bills to pay. Professors will not teach if they're not going to get paid due to lack of tuition. They just won't. So there's that.
Bullshit. Okay.
May I answer that? Just
Yeah.
1 second.
What do you want?
Okay. Okay, everyone has its own opinion. I just want to say one thing, make one thing clear. The whole idea of this presentation is not the sentence, we should recruit more girls. No, we know there is a meritocracy system, and each company should recruit the best program there. The whole idea of this kind of projects and communities is just to spread the word that, hey, there is a project where you can really come, and if you want to really learn, you can learn. Then it's not our responsibility how people may want to just make use of what is offered. We just want to make sure that there is people who are...
Okay, madam, and what exactly are you offering? Like, what is it? Because I haven't really heard any way you to tell people, like, hey, how can we recruit more men? Or how can we help male employees? Yeah. And yeah, I would kind of agree with the former CEO's point of view that, hey, we should recruit more boys. Yeah, I can agree with that because, let's face it, us men are very simple creatures by nature. We don't get offended as easily. But I also want to say that I think a lot more companies, we covered some of them, should actively invest more into passport bros. Because after all, one of the biggest messages about passport bros is that we just say to women, okay, we have no real problems replacing you ladies with a woman from overseas if you refuse to get your act together, stop complaining about men, and just work harder. Which, by the way, completely neutralizes any real complaint about discrimination based on sex. Because let's face it, these women may be from overseas, but that doesn't change the fact that they are, in fact, women. So you can't accuse us of discriminating you based on sex when we're literally replacing you with another woman. Just one from overseas. That's all we got time for tonight, everybody. Hope you have a great day. If you like this content, by all means, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, look us up on Patreon, leave a comment. It